Maybe you're not aware of it, but your relationship is probably a complete performance, and everyone around you can see it except you. Right now, millions are trapped in fake love and posting happy photos while dying inside. The brutal truth: you've been sold a lie about what love actually is, and it's destroying your soul. Listen, I'm about to destroy everything you think you know about love and relationships. And here's what's going to shock you most. Deep down, you already know I'm right. You've probably been living a complete lie, and everyone around you can see it except you. Right now, millions of people are sitting in their happy relationships, scrolling through social media, posting cute couple photos, and dying inside. They're performing love like actors in a bad movie, and the worst part, they've convinced themselves the performance is real. But here's the brutal truth that's going to make you uncomfortable. If you have to work that hard to prove your relationship is real, it probably isn't. You see those couples constantly posting about how blessed they are? It's not confidence, that's desperation. Real love doesn't need a marketing campaign. Real love doesn't require constant validation from strangers on the internet. But most people have never experienced real love, so they're stuck chasing a fantasy that's slowly killing their souls. The relationship industry has sold you a complete lie, and you bought it wholesale. They've convinced you that love should feel safe, predictable, and manageable. They've turned the most powerful force in human existence into a transaction, a checklist, a business arrangement disguised as romance, and you fell for it completely. But here's what's going to change everything. Once you understand what real love actually is, you'll never be able to unsee the massive deception that's been destroying relationships all around you. Are you ready for the truth? Or are you going to keep living the lie? Here's what nobody wants to admit. We're living through the biggest relationship crisis in human history. And it's not because people don't want love. It's because they've forgotten what love actually is. Instead, they're chasing a hollow imitation that's leaving everyone empty, bitter, and confused. Walk into any restaurant and watch couples sitting across from each other, both staring at their phones. That's not love. That's two people avoiding the terrifying reality that they have nothing real to share. They've built their entire relationship on convenience, comfort, and the fear of being alone. And society celebrates this as stable and mature. The dating apps have turned love into a shopping experience. Swipe left, swipe right, like you're ordering takeout. People are literally shopping for humans like they're browsing Amazon, checking boxes for height, income, and photogenic qualities. And then they wonder why their relationships feel transactional and meaningless. But here's the part that's going to make you angry. The self-help industry is making billions by keeping you trapped in this cycle. They sell you courses on communication skills and relationship building because they know you're desperate. But they're treating the symptoms while ignoring the disease. They're teaching you how to manage a fake relationship instead of helping you find a real one. The truth is, most people have never experienced authentic love. They've experienced attachment, dependency, habit, and fear disguised as love. They've confused comfort with connection, routine with intimacy, and possession with devotion. And they're defending this counterfeit with their lives because admitting the truth would mean facing the devastating reality that they've wasted years, maybe decades, on an illusion. Here's the uncomfortable truth you probably don't want to face. You're not actually looking for love. You're looking for safety, control, and validation wrapped up in romantic packaging. And that's exactly why you keep ending up disappointed, frustrated, and emotionally starved. Real love is terrifying because it demands complete vulnerability. It requires you to drop every defense, every wall, every carefully constructed persona you've spent years building. And most people would rather die than do that. So instead, they create these elaborate relationship contracts. I'll love you if you behave exactly how I want, meet all my needs, and never change in ways that make me uncomfortable. But that's not love. That's emotional hostage-taking. You're essentially saying, I'll give you affection in exchange for you becoming a predictable extension of my ego. And when your partner inevitably fails to live up to your impossible standards, you blame them for the failure instead of recognizing that you never wanted love in the first place. The research shows that people in truly authentic relationships report feeling both more alive and more scared than they've ever felt. Because real love doesn't offer guarantees. It doesn't promise that everything will work out perfectly. It doesn't ensure that you'll never get hurt. In fact, it pretty much guarantees the opposite. And that's exactly what most people are running from. They want the benefits of love without any of the risks. They want the connection without the vulnerability, the intimacy without the uncertainty, the transformation without the death of who they used to be. But life doesn't work that way. Here's what's killing your relationships. You're trying to love someone while protecting yourself from them at the same time. You're keeping one foot out the door while demanding that they give you everything. And deep down, you know this is impossible, which is why you're constantly anxious, always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Let me expose something that's going to make you furious. There's an entire industry built around keeping your relationships broken just enough to need constant fixing, but never actually healing them completely. Because healthy, authentic relationships don't generate revenue streams. The wedding industry has convinced you that love is measured by how much money you spend on one day. They've turned marriage into a performance, a competition, a social media event, instead of a sacred commitment between two souls. And then they act surprised when marriages that start with $50,000 parties end in bitter divorces. Marriage counselors are taught to focus on communication techniques and conflict resolution skills because that keeps you coming back for session after session. But they rarely address the fundamental question: are you actually in love with each other, or are you just attached to the idea of being in a relationship? Also, the pharmaceutical industry profits massively from relationship dysfunction. Antidepressants, anxiety medications, sleep aids, all heavily prescribed to people who are slowly dying in loveless relationships, but don't have the courage to face the truth. They'd rather medicate the symptoms than address the cause. Social media platforms have turned relationships into content, performance pieces for public consumption. People spend more energy curating their relationship image than actually nurturing the relationship itself. And the platforms love it because relationship drama, insecurity, and comparison drive engagement like nothing else. Even the self-help industry has a vested interest in keeping you slightly broken. If they actually gave you the tools to create authentic, fulfilling relationships, you'd stop buying their books, courses, and seminars. So they feed you just enough hope to keep you engaged while ensuring the fundamental problems remain unsolved. The truth is, these institutions don't want you to discover real love because people in authentic relationships don't consume nearly as much. They're not constantly shopping for validation, distraction, or quick fixes. They're not scrolling endlessly through dating apps or buying self-help books or paying for expensive therapy sessions that never address the real issues. Now here's what's going to change everything. Real love isn't what you think it is, or what they show you in the media or on TV. It's not the butterflies in your stomach or the can't eat, can't sleep obsession that movies have sold you. That's not love. That's biochemical addiction combined with projection and fantasy. Authentic love begins with a radical act of surrender. It's not surrender to another person, but surrender to the process itself. It's saying, I don't know what this will become, where it will lead, or how it will change me, but I'm willing to find out. And that terrifies most people because they want guarantees before they invest. Research from the Institute of Heart Math shows that people in authentic relationships display completely different brainwave patterns than those in conventional relationships. Their nervous systems actually synchronize. They become more resilient, more creative, more alive individually because they've stopped trying to control and possess each other. Real love doesn't try to complete you. It reveals you. It doesn't fill your emptiness. It shows you that you were never empty to begin with. It doesn't provide security. It gives you the courage to live without needing security. And this is why most people never experience it. They're too busy trying to get something from love instead of giving themselves to it. The most profound relationships aren't built on compatibility. They're built on authenticity. Two people who are willing to be completely honest about who they are, what they want, and how they're changing. They don't promise to love each other forever because they understand that love can't be promised. Instead, they commit to honesty, to showing up, to not hiding from each other even when it's uncomfortable. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you stop trying to make someone love you, and instead focus on expressing love freely, without attachment to outcomes, you become irresistibly attractive. Not because you're playing games or using techniques, but because authenticity is magnetic in a world full of people wearing masks. Studies show that couples who practice what researchers call vulnerable intimacy, sharing fears, dreams, and authentic emotions without trying to fix each other, report relationship satisfaction levels that are off the charts compared to conventional couples. Here's the practical truth that's going to revolutionize your relationships. You cannot love someone authentically until you stop trying to get something from them. Every transaction kills love. Every expectation creates distance. Every demand builds resentment. Start with radical honesty, beginning with yourself. Look at your current relationship, if you have one, and ask the hard questions. Are you in love, or are you just comfortable? Are you growing together, or are you slowly dying together? Are you authentic with each other, or are you both performing roles? If you discover you're living a lie, you have two choices. Transform it or leave it. But here's what you cannot do. You cannot keep pretending everything is fine while slowly poisoning yourself and your partner with inauthenticity. It's not noble. It's cowardly. For those who are single, stop looking for someone to complete you and start becoming someone worth knowing. The desperate energy of someone who needs a relationship repels authentic people and attracts other desperate people. That's why you keep ending up in the same dysfunctional patterns. Practice what researchers call outcome-independent relating. Express your authentic self without attachment to how others respond. Share your truth without needing validation. Give your attention without expecting reciprocation. This isn't about being a doormat, it's about being free. Learn to recognize the difference between love and attachment. Love wants the other person to flourish, even if that means growing beyond the relationship. Attachment wants to possess, control, and limit the other person to ensure they don't leave. Most people think attachment is love, which is why their relationships feel like prisons. Create space for mystery in your relationships. Stop trying to know everything, understand everything, control everything. Some of the most beautiful aspects of love emerge in the spaces between people. In the unknown, in the surprising moments when someone reveals a new facet of themselves. So here we are at the moment of truth. You now know something that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Real love exists, but it requires giving up everything fake and comfortable that you've been clinging to. You have a choice to make right now. You can close this video, go back to your comfortable illusions, keep swiping on dating apps. Keep attending therapy sessions that don't address the real issues. Keep posting fake happy couple photos while dying inside. It's the easy path, and most people take it. Or you can choose the path of authentic love. You can decide to stop performing and start being real. You can risk everything for the possibility of experiencing something genuine. You can let go of your need to control outcomes and trust the process of authentic connection. But I want to warn you, once you experience real love, even briefly, you'll never be able to settle for the fake version again. You'll see through the performances, the transactions, the fear-based attachments that most people call relationships. And that knowledge will be both liberating and lonely, because you'll realize how rare authentic connection actually is. The research is clear. People who choose authenticity over comfort in their relationships report dramatically higher life satisfaction, better health, more creativity, and deeper fulfillment. But they also report more uncertainty, more vulnerability, and more moments of profound fear. Because real love asks you to grow, and growth is never comfortable. If this resonates with you, if you're tired of living a lie and ready to discover what authentic love actually feels like, then like this video and subscribe to this channel. We're building a community of people who are choosing truth over comfort, authenticity over performance, real connection over safe illusion. And remember, the world needs more people who are brave enough to love authentically. Your willingness to be real, to be vulnerable, to choose love over fear doesn't just transform your life, it gives permission for others to do the same. You become living proof that another way is possible. The choice is yours. What's it going to be?